Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the Fargonauts watch Twin Peaks. I'm Wilson, and joining me are my two friends. Say hello, friends.
Hello,
Hi.
friend.
Last episode was Masked Ball, and I thought it was a ball.
It's
There
I
was.
great. Yeah.
I know that you thought it was kind of mid, Tyler, but to each his own. I enjoy these weird ass episodes, and this one is called Black Widow.
Oh, this one intrigues me.
We kind of talked about this one a little bit. Like we touched on a couple of themes that I think are going to come up in this one last time.
Yeah, we did.
But better than anything, we can just like get into it and see you on the other side.
Very true. And I'll do my
Uh,
little. Oh, go ahead.
I I was going to beat you to it. Maybe
Oh, okay. Go
let's say
ahead.
it at the same time. No,
Okay, here we go.
okay.
And if you want to
So,
keep
if anybody wanted to
like,
and subscribe, that
subscribe.
would be great because then we could get that engagement. Like a comment if you want to understand more about Twin Peaks or join the discussion. Tyler, you're not even joining me in this.
I want to see how you do it. That was it
I
was
was
I
just
want.
going.
It's a surprise to me that you wanted to do it.
Well,
I would just
I was.
say, if you like this video, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified whenever a new episode from this comes out. And then, yeah, leave comments and discuss with us because I want to hear from you. And we do. I mean, Bradshaw does, I would say, right, Bradshaw?
Oh yeah.
And Wilson?
Well, I said join the comments. I do. I genuinely want to hear from people because I think any discussion of this show is interesting, no matter what your viewpoint is. Nobody's wrong. It's not about like right or wrong. It's just fun to discuss. And I think
Yeah,
if anybody's watching along with us, let us know what you're thinking.
exactly. And it's always fun to return to the show. And it's cozy around this time of year. Yeah, it's fun to see all these cool characters again. And it's not like a lot of normal shows or like shows that are out nowadays. Like I just got done watching the new season of Fargo, which was really good in comparison to like the other last two seasons. Like they were okay, but this one kind of picks up where, I mean, Fargo and Twin Peaks to me like they're kind of in the same realm because we talked about it in the first few episodes that David Lynch actually wanted to base it in like a North Dakota or an area that was close to where we're hailing from. So he kind of switched gears and changed it at the last minute to northern Washington or in that kind of area. But yeah, the Fargo series is really good, but like the newer episodes of the show True Detective that have come out, a lot of people are divisive on that because it's harkening back to the first season and things like that. So with this show, Twin Peaks, you get a consistent through line with these characters that keep popping in the story and having their own dynamic things. Whereas like now, True Detective just kind of seems like it's becoming an anthology series where not every season is tied together at all or
Sure.
coherent.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was, and that second season was wildly different than that first season.
Very much, yeah. And I don't know, maybe they were just trying to capitalize on the popularity of the first season. Like, oh man, yeah, we should just do another season, but just do it completely weird and different. And
Yeah, they kind of lost me there.
kind
I
of lost me
wanted
too.
more. Kind of wanted more of that kind of weird,
Undertone of like
potentially
mystery,
Lovecraftian. Yeah.
yeah, mystery, like horror themed and like
hmm
culty stuff. Yeah, there was barely any of that.
hmm
Season two was like, yeah, I guess just a different flavor. I really
hmm
liked season two. I like pretty much every season. Season four was a little weak to me. I haven't seen the new season, but one, two, and three I really like for different reasons.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah, we're on season 4 now. True Detective, and they've only had 2 episodes, and it's tying in a lot of stuff that was mentioned in the first season, with like the spiral
Personally, has
cult
me
and things like
interested
that.
again.
And
So,
that interests me, but I don't know if they're just gonna do like a you know, the Ryan Johnson approach where it's like, haha, I changed gears. You thought I was doing this, but misdirect. It's
right.
not that at all.
Well,
It's like,
part of the fun
okay,
of that, or that first season too, was like, was it actually something like, like cosmic horror-y that happened, or was it just, or not? You know what I mean? Was it actually, or was it just what it was? You know what I mean? Was it just this weird kind of culty whatever, or was there actually something behind it?
there's like, yeah, you're talking about like if there's explanations that you can derive from the show to explain away the cosmic entity that maybe has
Yeah. Yeah.
overseen
Was
kind of.
there a cosmic entity? Was that an actual thing, or was it just, you know, in the head or in your perception? Right.
Yeah, and I mean, that would be a fun discussion that we can discuss after we're done with Twin Peaks, I would say,
Oh
and
yeah.
other media that has influenced Twin Peaks, like we've talked about before.
Yep.
I do want to get into that, like everything that's kind of been inspired by it. And Bradshaw, you could
Hmm.
attest to that, being like, because you just watch
Oh yeah.
Psych and things like that,
Hmm.
and how that maybe Twin Peaks even influenced True Detective, because I see a lot of connections there. But Twin
Oh yeah.
Peaks goes full into the mystery of like, yep, this is cosmic kind of. This is a mysterious beyond the veil, and spirits and things like that live in the forest and being abducted
Um,
and aliens and everything that you can extrapolate from Twin Peaks is like valid because
this is episode 12 of season 2. Is that right?
yeah,
Mhm.
So this is officially the second half of season 2 from the episode count.
right.
And this is like the countdown to weird because it's only going to get closer and closer to it and like move more that way tonally, I think.
Hmm.
And
Right.
even when season 2 ends, we're going to move straight into Fire Walk with Me, which is like,
Oh yeah.
stepping into a different lane on the same road.
That's a
Right.
whoo boy.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to even discuss when we get to that point what we're feeling with the season, like aftermath of everything, and then leading into
Mhm.
that, and then into the return, because that's an exciting transition.
That's
Right.
To come back to it after that long break, I mean, that's kind of just interesting how he had something to say, or like there's a story still to be told.
Right.
It's just surprising.
yeah, you're not kidding. There's a lot to unpack there.
So yeah, that'll be an interesting conversation. So definitely hit that like button.
Hmm.
Be notified. So when we do talk about
Right.
that stuff, it's yeah, it'll be
Ring
an
that bell.
event.
This is the longest intro, quite possibly, that we've ever had on this channel.
Oh hell yeah, dude. We
But
even fucking
unless most
digressed a
people
little
cut-
bit. It was great.
Well, it's good because sometimes we don't really have a whole lot to say about the episode other than like the fun moments that happen in it. But yeah, we'll
Right.
see. Let's just jump into this one.
I'm so excited, guys. I love every time that we watch Twin Peaks. This is amazing.
Me too.
Let's freaking do it, boys.
Let's
Let's do it.
watch this bird.
Let's get peeking.
I don't want to sound like a queer or nothing, but I'm really gonna miss you guys when the show's over.
Okay, we're about to discuss the Black Widow episode of Twin Peaks. I enjoyed where this episode was going. How about you guys?
Yeah.
For the most part,
I'm sorry. I was too busy hearing, why would you dye your hair? And overlap and stuff to hear what you were saying. Can you repeat that, please?
well, I'm just saying we just finished watching the Black Widow episode of Twin Peaks.
Yes, we did.
What's your overall takeaway? Did you like this episode?
Yeah, I love this. I
Yeah.
mean, this was great. I would say that this is like a 5, probably for me.
Out
5,
of-
6
Out of what?
out of 10.
Oh, okay. I thought
A 5 or a 6. Like it's good,
Okay.
but
Yeah,
it's not like
it's
reaching any sort of heights or anything. But it's my okay, minus the James stuff. but that's probably why it's like a 5, I think.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
the
it
James
might be
stuff,
a 7.
to let people in on our discussion or our watch time when we watched the episode, we just kind of flooded that scene or those scenes with James with just soundboard audio things.
I did not.
Just drowning out his just like, oh, what is going on? Why do I care? Why am I here?
Yeah, it's so pointless.
He's like, I'm just out in the open road, doing nothing. Like, I don't
At the
care
end of
about James.
nothing comes from it, and then at the end of it, he goes back to Twin Peaks, and that's it.
What a great life.
Like, sorry to spoil anything for anybody, but like that's the reality of what we're going through here, and it is the most tedious thing to be cutting between like Dale doing interesting stuff, looking at properties and like solving his own mysteries of like his own case and stuff, and then we're back to James, and it's like, oh come on, dude. I think we both said the exact same thing. We're like, oh come on, man.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, yeah.
At the same time, it's at the same thing. We're like, oh, just we'd had enough. Even it was like the second scene of this episode where it was a James scene, and we had just had enough.
It's
excruciating. This face that Ben's making.
Yeah, we're like, what the like? I'm still like, I did talk about it in the last episode, but I'm slowly like more falling in love with Ben. I just love how he like disheveled Ben is best Ben.
He's wonderful. I mean, like, yes, he's done shady stuff, but he just gets better and better. He like ripens like a fruit. He just like
yeah.
Once he goes to jail, he kind of gets all that shit out of his system.
Yep. Starting making weird like sculptures out of like just shit in his office.
Starting to become a general. Or like I don't know what rank he.
Oh yeah,
that was a good face too.
He's got some good ones.
These Bobby faces.
Look at that one down there.
Look at him snarling. He's like fucking Gollum.
Filthy, nasty hobbits.
Trading riddles in the office.
Yeah, this episode, it had some good scenes other than the James scenes. Ones that are standout for me are the ones where actually Audrey Horne coming in like a fucking savior hero, being like, hey, Bobby's taking these pictures for my dad.
Yeah.
Here, Dale. And Dale's like, oh my god, you just saved my life. And like, that was amazing. Oh yeah, and you gotta make mention that Molly Shannon pops in.
Yeah.
As like, what is she, Child Protective Services or something like that?
She's his caseworker. Mickey's caseworker.
But yeah, she had a great little scene in there, and it was fun seeing her.
There's this, and then there's also the like Black Widow stuff.
The Black Widow stuff. Yeah, that was interesting.
I wouldn't really call the James like situation of Black Widow, and if anything, it's like I don't know, a fucking weird ass frame job.
Yeah,
but regardless, I just like because this lady sticks around. This is not just like a one and done thing. This episode, like she's gonna be sticking around in the town of Twin Peaks, I think, until the end of the show or the end of season 2.
Well, that's great. I mean, I like introductions of new people that kind of cause a disturbance or cause something kind of weird to propagate. You know, it's kind of cool.
Sure, I agree with that. I just think that like it really feels odd for some reason to me, like especially the scene where all the men are lined up.
Oh yeah, let's find
looking at her, and
that scene was pretty great.
I just feel like it's maybe coming out of nowhere a little bit, because we've really only glimpsed her gosh, she was like, did we really see her before her wedding?
I don't know if we did,
because that was like, last episode, so it just seems like the character's introduced and immediately, but I mean, weird things happen in Twin Peaks. It's just look at Andy here.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, she's so beautiful.
For some reason, he reminds me of little Michael in Peter Pan.
Oh yeah, hey
Wendy
in his
lady, little, like, onesie with the butt flap
and his teddy bear.
Yep.
He's just a
But
child.
I don't think that there's inherently anything wrong with this, but it feels like filler. You know what I mean?
It does.
Um,
And
it's maybe important that like the Milford guy died, but
I love how this dude just went off like this fucking hussy coming in
Why?
and killing my brother. She won't get a red cent.
did you test her for witchcraft?
He is great.
Yeah.
And Doc goes just like smiling behind
Look at
him.
him. Look, like a man has died here, doctor. Have some decorum.
He's like looking at Harry like, can you believe this shit? Oh, and he moves. Okay.
Well, yeah, and well, maybe I'm just thinking like, okay, are they reacting that way? Are they looking that way because like David Lynch just told this actor who's like that old man to just be like, you're upset about your brother. Just be upset. Just
Get
say
angry.
things about this woman. Be
Cry like a
angry.
baby.
And he didn't get there wasn't like specific lines, and that was just a take that they used of him just like being angry, and that was their reaction, their genuine reaction.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe. That could be it.
Seems like something he might do just to get like the kind of reaction from the old man that he wants, or like that performance. Just to
Yep.
be like, just be very angry and talk about her. You don't like her, laying it out super simple, like I've seen him do sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, he's just always speaking like Gordon Cole. It's just fun to me.
No, he almost is.
How do you? Okay, we didn't. I know this is a little bit off topic right now, but how do you think he says Cheeto? Like, do you think he says Cheeto or Cheeto?
He probably doesn't even care about like pronouncing it. He's just like cheetah.
Well, I don't. Yeah, That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that he just says it however he says it, but I have not heard that word come out of his mouth, and I just am wondering what that sounds like because Cheeto. I was eating a lot of Cheetos that day.
Yeah, I recently. I mean, it wasn't too long ago, but it was like during COVID, where he came out with a lot of like weather reports in California
Mm-hmm.
every Friday, without like hesitation. He'd be like, "It's Friday, once again,"
Uh huh.
and it was always like be a running thing, and that just caught on for me, and be like, "It's Friday, once again,"
Uh-huh.
and like that kind of volume and his enunciation of it
Mm-hmm.
kind of leads you to like how he would say other things.
I've seen a lot of those videos where I'm like, man, he really is just like he's Gordon Cole. He's just like shouting,
Yep.
and that's fine. That's totally fine. I expect that from David Lynch.
So yeah, other side stories is the Nadine stuff is kind of interesting. Trying to get with Mike by joining the wrestling team. That was just fun to watch. Mike just get blasted.
These chuckleheads are
Yeah.
thinking it's funny, and this coach is just sweating the whole time. Like, damn, I'm gonna win state this year.
Well, and these guys are like, I don't want to wrestle her. Like, are you kidding me?
What? How strong is this woman? Look at it. Look at his lurch.
Yeah. He's like, I threw out my
Ooh.
back. So that was
Oh.
fine because it didn't like overstay its welcome. Like it was just like, all right, here's the scene. Here's her just kicking ass.
There's two women at least in Twin Peaks currently in this episode that have like pretty much superpowers. One is like a super seduction power, and one is like one is super strength.
Yep.
We're starting up a cast of heroes here, people.
I'm putting together a team. James,
Put
you're
together,
not
put together a team. James, you are not a part
you're
of it.
not invited.
Stay fucked off wherever you are, whatever you're doing, but just don't. I don't need to keep tuning in. Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is the Nick
Look
Fury.
at this! Look at this smooth operator in the doorway here.
The fucking hairline, dude. That feels good.
Yeah,
right
it's
there.
not. It's not a five head. It's. I don't even know how to describe it, but
16.
it's glorious. It's like a five hair.
He's just got a
like his hair. His
wing.
hair sits like 6 inches off the top of his head. He's wearing it like a Mega Man helmet.
It almost just looks like a bird, like resting its wings over his ears.
Yes. Caw, I've landed safely.
Ah,
Whatever. We
cozy.
don't need to make fun of this actor, but this stuff just does not matter. I'm sorry. Like, again, I think that this
And
stuff.
what is he doing? Like, the guy comes into his room. What is James doing? He's like, I'm just looking at my toolbox.
I'm going through my toolbox.
He's just
He's
looking
just
at
going through like
tools.
one little drawer or something of his toolbox
It's like,
too.
leave me alone. I was counting my lug nuts.
Yeah, why doesn't he just like shut his door? Why
Um,
does this man have to come in and share his? I don't know.
and the
This
significance
is
of
great.
this, the significance of this house is that it's like just a meeting place that they're setting up for this with what's her name, Denise. She decides to use this as a sting spot, right?
Well, because this is where they have been.
Doing their
Dale
deals.
looks. Yeah, Dale looks at this place for like realty reasons because he hears from the realtor that like nobody stays there very long. It's got something about it that just like drives people away, and he's like, "I've got to see it." And then, um, I think he does end up buying it, and
Oh, okay.
I think there's something about it where it's like it's an ooky place. There's something tied to it. It's just one of those places in Twin Peaks. But then also, yeah, he finds evidence of them having used this place to like cut their drugs, and so he's like, "Oh, okay, we can just use this as a sing spot. This is perfect."
Right. So that's another fun, interesting thing, or a more dynamic story beat that's going to come up later. Because then Denise goes to talk with the new Patsy, I guess, the fall guy that's going to happen.
Uh,
I forgot his name.
George?
Yeah, this dude.
I want to say George. I know that he's enjoying that chicken this episode.
Yeah, he's just getting one
Not
down.
eating his,
Well,
not eating his carrots or what looks like broccoli or spinach.
but yeah. So they came to him. He's got some parole violations that he's something like that, right? So they're basically
Well,
gonna pin
by
that on
but
him.
yeah, so they're saying like, we clearly have photographic evidence of you facilitating a drug deal, and that's a violation of your parole. So you're fucked, and you're gonna work with us because we're telling you that.
You know. So he's
And the
got
bird
a.
on his head is unhappy about it.
So they discuss with him and his bird during a thunderstorm
I've-
that you're gonna be the fall guy here, bud. And now we're getting to the moment, like, we can kind of go over some of these other things, but it's kind of just other than this stuff. I don't care.
I liked the. I mean,
Or
this
the cord short jean jacket boys.
yeah, like this is another side story that's going to continue on for the foreseeable future. At least like probably 4 or 5 episodes. And I honestly could just not give a shit, but it's not the worst thing in the world. this this demon child, they have to investigate, like, is he a demon? Is he a cursed little boy that kills people around him?
Can we find that frame? Do you know when that happened again? The
It's when so you're gonna want to find in the sheriff's department. It's further on
okay,
when Dick goes to visit Andy.
okay.
We'll see them. Yep, right there. It was right there. So it's coming up. Here we go. We'll zoom in on Andy, and then we will find it. But yeah, I mean, it's going to continue on for a while, and it's just like it doesn't really amount to anything. But I guess it is the. I mean, I guess you could maybe make that argument for other stuff in the show, but I feel like it has led up to something. Like so much of people's behavior and what we saw from them kind of like fed into the investigation of Laura Palmer's death. Like it informed how we felt about them, and in the sense of what they had to do with it, or how they were reacting to it. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. How they're reacting to just Laura, or just like, I would say just Twin Peaks in general, maybe.
Maybe. But I some of this stuff, like the little Nikki, the Black Widow, and there's like one other thing I'm not putting my thumb on, but they definitely feel like they are trying to eat, because I believe, and I could be corrected here, but I believe at this point David Lynch had left the production,
Okay.
and it was up to other people to basically, they knew that they had an allotment of episodes that they had to fulfill,
Sure.
and without him to be um, writing these scripts and working on this thing as much as he was, along with Mark Frost and other people, they were kind of left to just do what they felt they should do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe later in season 2, like much later, is when he actually returned and had an active hand in the production.
Okay.
So this is like, I believe this is during his break. I could be wrong about that.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe that speaks to not the quality of the writing, but just the content. I don't know. Taking a beat and just like, we're introducing new stuff because we got to fill time, because we there's episodes we got to fulfill, and we're gonna make that,
Right, and they didn't want to
which is
go,
okay.
yeah, full on nuts with the spiritual or the mystery stuff.
Because this is all, the first season was 8 episodes,
Yeah, pretty short.
so this is almost triple the length. So they definitely have to like introduce some new stuff.
Yeah, and this gentleman here talking about um, the major.
He yep.
He's talking about how what is the significance and where this signal came from when they got that. What was it? Was it the owls are not what they seem? Or what was the slip of paper that he got from Major Briggs
There,
at one point?
it was that, and the name Cooper.
Right. Okay. And that signal came from somewhere in like the woods of Twin Peaks. That's what he says, and that kind of leads us to like the finale of this episode, being the moment where Bobby and his mom are just talking about how, mom says that he's such an honorable man, like her husband is such an honorable man, but Bobby's like, he's a certified weirdo, right? And Bobby cannot wrap his head around his dad. Like he's not a dad that hits or like is lashing out or angry, but like maybe that's what Bobby needs to have some like stability, because he's just a kid that can just, I don't know, he seems like just a bad boy, but his
Yeah.
dad is such like a do-gooder, like no nonsense dude. But he's
Yeah.
not that kind of archetypical guy that's just gonna be like the military dad or like the just you do your chores, you respect your mother, you blah, 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 and
Yeah.
you don't talk back, boy. Like Stone Cold. 'Cause Stone Cold said so.
Oh hell yeah!
Hell
yeah.
yeah. And then
I don't know, but
she's having like a crying moment, and like the thunderstorm is still going on, and then out of nowhere, homeboy just shows up in a pilot suit like he's fucking
Amelia Earhart right here.
Amelia Earhart or fucking Lindbergh.
Yeah, man. So he, uh, it's weird to say exact. It's like to speculate exactly where he went. I would have to like.
He just got stoned as
No.
fuck with some aliens.
Well, he exhibits from, I believe, this event here, a scar on his neck that is like, you know, the same scar that Margaret Lanterman, the log lady, has on her from when she was abducted as a kid.
Oh wow.
So it seems like it's alien related, the way that they deal with this and the way that they talk about it a little bit, and like, but it also makes me, I don't know, sometimes I think that it's maybe like he was somehow kidnapped or abducted by forces of the Black or White Lodge. I'm unsure, but something like that, and
Okay.
then returned by those forces as well.
Right.
Especially given his like minor appearance and inclusion, kind of in the return, etc.
Right. He does show up in some form or fashion.
Even I would just say that like even beyond this actor's appearance as the character of Major Garland Briggs, the character of Major Briggs has like a big importance throughout a lot of the modern history of Twin Peaks, whether it's season one, two, or three.
Right.
But it's cool that we get him back this episode. And Bobby's spooked.
He's spooked. He's like, my God, my dad's wearing some old timey clothes.
I don't know if you guys heard this conversation here that Major Briggs has when he comes back. But his wife asks him, or he asks his wife, "How long was I gone?" And she says, "I believe 4 days."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh shit!" And he asks Bobby for a very strong cocktail.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that. I remember hearing that.
Who knows what he kind of I think, yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but I think that we learn more about what maybe he saw or experienced or where he went or something like that.
Yeah, that'll be fun because yeah, I forgot that other guy's name that came to talk to Harry and Cooper, but yeah, he's gonna have something to say to probably Briggs about his appearance, disappearance, whatever. I mean, he's wearing it on his sleeves right now. It's like he's wearing crap from the 50s, or like
But it seemed like his wife was familiar enough with the event of his disappearance. She was like, "Oh, this is like, not unfamiliar to me."
yeah, from
who,
the last
who who's
episode.
to, who's to say how frequent this thing might happen? But she did not seem unfamiliar to it. So if she feels that way, I have to expect that his boss or the branch of the military that he works for or whatever, this dude that shows up at least,
Yeah,
probably isn't going to be that surprised about it either. He's going to be interested, but not like surprised by it.
yeah, he'll probably have like a debriefing thing in behind closed doors or something like that.
Hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
about it.
Or maybe he, expected it in one way or another and he's just, trying to get the details about it. But I don't know, man. It seems it just it seems like he disappeared before or maybe been abducted before. I don't know.
I think he is like the perfect embodiment of the type of person that would just maybe be the epitome of somebody to go to the White Lodge. He's had such a pure of heart, and but maybe he's
Yeah.
being put through the test or put through some kind of like rigorous thing to test his soul's weight, I guess, against
Hmm.
the Black Lodge.
Sure. I love that interpretation. That's awesome.
And so he has to be at Twin Peaks. He has to be here, and he knows like this is the epicenter of something that's otherworldly, or like there are pockets like you've talked about before, Wilson, about there are places around the area or whatever, but there are probably other major brigs in those areas kind of being tested or whatever. So that it introduces a lot of interesting other things that you can extrapolate from just that. It was like
I
the
I
USA
think
knows of these pockets of perceived like otherworldly interactions, so they send these people to be tested, like Colonel Briggs or Major Briggs, to like these little spaces, and then they keep being abducted to go through this rigorous testing, so the military can understand what that means. Of like, you know, the mystery behind, is it being abducted? Is it going into a place of transcendence, or whatever that means?
yeah, he is very deeply connected to the greater mystery of Twin Peaks, the show. Like, and I'm not talking about the investigation of Laura Palmer. I'm talking about the like, um, uh, otherworldly mystery.
Right, and that's kind of moving away because, yeah, the Major didn't have a whole lot to say in the first season, but the first season, every episode was just banger after banger, like interesting stuff on being uncovered and stuff like that. And he didn't have
Bobby,
a big role to play, right?
would
But
you care for a piece of huckleberry pie?
yeah, like,
Well, huckleberries are especially delicious today,
but
especially fresh.
having him just maybe be one of those distractions from like who the real killer is. Like, oh, this guy seems kind of off. He's talking about Huckleberry Pie. That seems really weird. What a weirdo, right? But now he's kind of being developed more into like, oh, he's like legitimately one of the best protectors of this place.
I don't know. Yeah, he comes off as very genuine to me.
Oh
Not at
yeah,
all like yes, he has a strange attitude about him, but some people in the military that are that high up have strange attitudes about them in one way or another, like kind of regardless. So I was like, oh,
yeah. There's
I can
some
accept that.
truth in there, and he's very, like we said, or like I said before, he's not archetypical like a military guy. Being a dad and being really strict. He's just loving, and he's there because he knows that's having a pure and kind heart is what helps you get to the White Lodge, and so he has to like
Well,
push that evil down.
and part of me sees it as like he is aware of not only he has some idea of what else is out there besides us or what else is out there in the universe or spiritually or dimensionally, but he's like had experiences with it directly, and so he like appreciates the things that are terrestrial, that are here, that are home
Yeah,
even more.
he doesn't want to let go of his wife. That's just really wholesome, nice, and
Their relationship is wonderful. It's probably one of the like yeah, it's probably the healthiest, best relationship in Twin Peaks because even Big Ed and Norma, that's
yeah,
like they're pretty much there for the entire run that we see them trying to have an affair.
yep, that's true.
I kind of struggle to find like a because James and Donna, they're so tumultuous. They're always fighting and
James is having sex with a married woman
yeah,
fixing her
there's
car.
there's that too. But I mean, she is doing like a weird honeypot to him, but
Yeah,
that's neither here nor there. We don't need to talk about it ever again. But I think this might be like relationship goals in Twin Peaks.
oh yeah.
The Major and his wife.
But you have
Just
to take some good with the bad. Like, yeah, I love my husband, but sometimes he gets abducted for 4 days.
yeah, sometimes he gets abducted. I don't know what the fuck happened to him. I have to sit there and worry, and then he just shows up again, hopefully,
And then all is good.
and then everything's okay. I love this as the ending because
Oh yeah, ominous
Man.
clouds. Love it.
and the lightning. What it reminds me of Close Encounters, where they would use the clouds as like cover for their ships.
Yeah, it's super cool. I don't know if this was like a matte painting or something like it. Oh, that's cool. Um,
The lightning certainly doesn't seem. I don't know.
I could show you. I could show you things that they've done for like the movie Poltergeist, like the behind the scenes special features about like how they got those clouds to come over the house.
Yeah, like I'm like this is just a plate, and then they've got liquid suspended on the top, and they're
Yeah, it's like a big fish
dropping
tank.
like yeah,
They they
but
put
like
particles or
I
like
guess
chemical in a fish tank and then make clouds out of it, and then they can like uh, just basically shoot down some electric bolts from like a plasma thing.
yeah, like that's exactly what I'm thinking, and that's what I'm like realizing now it looks like. But it looks really good, and it's a great way
Yeah.
to. They're very. I would say that like Twin Peaks is very very good at establishing mood on the way out the door. it,
Yep.
it, it's got a good way of sticking in your craw of like the tone that they lead you with may not match really the entirety of the episode or even like the scene that preceded it, but I do think that it has a way of making a statement on the way out.
That's true. And even those like kind of periodic, breaks in the story by like showing the wind blowing through some trees, that just ominous There's
Hmm.
something on the horizon coming down the way, and this one is getting even more dark. It's like, all right, there's some otherworldly dark presence here, just trying to loom over Twin Peaks, and there's like little striking of lightning happening that are, this is going to keep happening.
The because in like Seinfeld or really any other like show, they have those cutaways of the different locations, like Friends, you know, How I Met Your Mother, like probably even a Modern Family. Like there's just so many shows where they have those establishing shots, those like cutaways, whatever it is, and this one has so many of those. It's just like extended little scenes almost that take place out in nature or out in like the branches blowing in the wind or the waterfall or the river or things like that or the a lot of the like uh, when the credits roll at the end of the episode, it's like over a shot of the woods. Or we just
The
recently we had that one with
waterfall.
the owl. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
the well,
the owl too.
and there's so much focus on the natural side of this location that it's like you don't really pick up on it at first, that it's like they're trying to draw your attention to it,
Hmm.
and over time they reveal more and more about why you should be drawing your attention to it. And then like there's the couple times that they do those short little scenes or those shots of like stuff blowing in the wind or moving through a forested path, and then it keeps going for the few extra seconds that makes the viewer think like, hmm, we're spending like more time than I might expect on this.
Right. Yeah. Like, what do they want me to see here? What
Yeah,
what
yeah.
do I what should I take away from what they're showing me?
Mm-hmm.
That'll give me some clues, or just a state of mind maybe
Or
that they want you to be in. Like, hey, just have this emotion when you watch the show.
what am I supposed to take away from this? Like what, like you said, like what do they want me to take away from this? Whether that be like information that directly relates to the show or just my own personal feelings about this. What am I taking away from this?
Hmm. And I'd
He's
say
nuts.
we can definitely leave it there. Thank you, Bradshaw.
Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
Anything else to add other than those clangers,
Other than those nuts, dude.
those clangers and bangers?
Nah, man. I had a good time with this episode. It was cool.
Ugh. Oh yeah, Pete and
Would you?
Catherine.
Yeah. Would you? We didn't really talk about that Josie
Well,
situation.
we did last time. Like she's like indentured servitude as a maid now
Yep.
because she's been blackmailed by Catherine.
Pete's just okay with it.
I'm gonna recite a little poem.
And maybe a limerick. There once was a woman.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
great.
Pete will be Pete, Catherine will be Catherine, and Josie will be Maid.
This is so much of the flavor of when you talk about Twin Peaks to somebody and they've never seen it before, and you're like, well, it's a show about like a mystery.
Yep.
There's I when I try and describe it to people, I'm like, there's a FBI agent who goes to this small town in Washington to investigate the murder of a you know high school sweetheart kind of girl, but it's a lot more than that, and blah blah blah. And
Yeah, it's like, hold on now. So now I have to tell you about,
so
Major
that's what the
Briggs.
show's like technically about, but now I have to tell you about the actual show itself. And like I always tell people, like it's kind of like mix a soap opera with some a little bit of HP Lovecraft and like these other things, but I always throw in soap opera because the Catherine Pete Josie dynamic in this episode,
Yeah.
the Donna and James love scenes where the music is just all of a sudden sweeping in, and they're standing on the edge of a lake, and there's just so many moments where it's like this is very very soap opera y.
Yep, that's true.
Characters, and that's why they have that fucking spoof show in the show called Invitation to Love
Yeah,
that
that's true.
was like a commentary of some kind, and Yeah, this God, all the fucking plotting and conniving and plans, and even Andy, he gets plotting this episode to start investigating little Nicky.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Is he a demon? Is he the devil child? Is he trying to
Is
kill
he?
Dick? And like, what's going on here?
Is he a demon?
Is he a demon
I like
boy?
this man's mustache.
Pointing.
Cop on right. I like his mustache.
Yeah. Go on, you. Let's get going. Oh, you're
Come on.
manhandling me.
I'm gonna be firm, but gentle. You know, respect your elders. It's what my mustache taught me.
All right. Well, that's our episode of The Black Widow. We'll leave it there for this
Widow.
moment. And we'll be back with the next episode. Can you take a guess what that one's called?
I never have any idea.
It has to do with Wyndham Earl and Coop.
Is it chess related?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Checkmate.
Oh,
Somebody's gonna win chess.
I was thinking like somebody's name's Gambit, or like or if it was like pawn this to I don't know.
Yeah, pawn
I don't
takes
know-
king
I
or
don't
something.
I don't know chess moves. I don't know
So
how to
yeah,
play chess. I don't know how to like describe those moves like they do.
lucky number 13. We're on checkmate.
Oh ho. And then only 9 more to go of season 2. That's kind of like crazy to think about. We've gotten very far. And Eric, I'm glad that you've been with us for these last few.
Oh yeah, dude. I've been getting good sleep recently, so
That's wonderful.
That's good. We got to keep this going then. We got to keep you on the right track of good
Yeah,
sleep.
You're not going to get good sleep during the return, or it's going to influence
right.
you, I hope.
It's gonna invade your brain and be
You're
like,
going to
oh,
have
we
Dougie dreams. You're also going to have Mr. C dreams.
oh, Mr. C. Yep. Mr. C dreams. Dougie
You're
dreams.
going to have older James dreams.
Oh my god.
I'll say that 3 times fast. Older
Older
James
James
dreams.
dreams.
Older James dreams. Older. I guess it's not really that hard.
So yeah, we'll hopefully see everybody next time when we discuss checkmate and see what that has in store for us. So make sure to hit that like button and leave comments below on just anything you want about Twin Peaks or anything in general, really. What you want us to discuss or maybe watch that's related to Twin Peaks, like we maybe talked at the beginning of this episode, like all the other media that's out there. Like, hey, if you
I
guys
think-
like this, watch this.
I think if you leave a comment about food, I think that there's a lot of hot takes that we could have between the 3 of us. Like, if you asked all 3 of us what each of us would put like on a sandwich, I don't know. I don't know that.
Yeah,
it would
don't
be very...
remind me, Wilson. You brought that up like pie or cake. Just pie or cake.
Exactly.
Don't
Just
make
pie
it
or
difficult.
That's
Pie or
it.
cake.
You don't need to break it down like into like, well, are we talking about cupcakes? No, motherfucker, pie or cake. Which one do you prefer? It's not which one's like all time better. It's just which one do you prefer? It's an easy thing to say, I think.
Right, but there's so many different. When you talk about a cake, and I'm not speaking on cupcakes,
Oh my god.
like you have a sheet cake or like a layered tier kind of cake thing.
Yes, there are different kinds of cakes.
But there's not different kinds of pies. There's just
Yes,
different
there
flavors
are.
of pies. You can't put a pie on top of a pie. That's kind of like a cake
Who says you can't do that?
because it's not structurally sound.
Oh, come on. I guarantee you that it's somewhere on like Great British Baking or whatever, they've done pie on a pie. You can do pie on a pie. Come on.
Okay.
Don't
well,
tell me that you can't.
I just know that it comes in different forms. Like, you know, I don't want to get into it now, but yeah, things like that. Leave in the comments so we can digress. On that.
You can have like an open-faced pie. You can have one that has like a lattice top to the crust. You can have one that's fully enclosed, like a meat pie.
That seems aesthetics though. Like that's. I'm thinking of like ice cream cake, sheet cake.
Cake is all aesthetics too, dude. It's just like all either like cake and then frosting or just cake.
Can you have an ice cream pie?
Ice cream pie? Oh gosh. Oh, I bet you could. You'd have
'Cause
to.
I've
Like,
never seen it. I don't know.
you'd have to serve it and then eat it really quick, unless you want the crust to like pot. It might get really soggy. But
Yeah,
well, I don't know. If it's like cold enough, it wouldn't start melting. I don't know why we're talking about this during a Twin Peaks thing, dude. Like I said, don't bring up food because
No,
we've got a
I'm
lot
trying
of
to
hot
I'm trying to bring it all
food.
back to like anything under the sun. Leave in the comments below for us to discuss. And so yeah, we'll go off. I mean, we'll digress on anything really, Twin Peaks
Yeah,
included.
they will.
But yeah, hope to see you guys next time. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.